What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and the McDick disaster seems to be getting worse as now it is extended beyond McDonald's to TGI Fridays, who just shuttered a bunch of restaurants. Interesting timing. Maybe all these places were getting extremely, rich off of, over the past couple of years, and now they're just contracting. It's entirely possible. But it's not a good look, in the face of having, ever increasing, inflation, ever decreasing amount of, mileage you're getting on your dollar, all this kind of stuff, where the core inflation numbers, I guess, late last night were reported as being up again. It's not getting any better out there. And this now in from TGI Fridays. Oh, and the McDonald's franchisees are pissed off because the $5 value meal scam that got exposed has already backfired before they ever even had a chance to offer it. I mean, I think it's obviously more complicated than just Bidenomics. There's more going on with that, but it's obviously a big part of it. And we talked about, there was this article, this morning, how all these items that Target and Walmart, these 5,000 items that they were all lowering in price, were actually items that they had been gouging customers for over the past few years. TGI Fridays abruptly shutters more restaurants, bringing total this year to almost 40. Well, look what happened when, Red Lobster shut a few restaurants down. It was like, oh, they shut down 50 restaurants. Bam, the next day they were filing for bankruptcy. So, I don't know exactly what's coming next for them, but you see TGI Fridays has abruptly shuttered another restaurant in Jersey, bringing the total this year in the state alone to 8. The most recent was on location in Brick on Route 70, which closed suddenly on Sunday. Another is due to close down in Buffalo in New York State in the coming weeks too. The move follows an announcement in January that it was closing 36, quote, underperforming restaurants across 12 states. The total for 2024 is already at least 38. Quote, we've identified opportunities to optimize. I mean, look, at some point you have, freaking 100 million stores, you have 5,000 locations. They're not all going to stay operating, perfectly. New competition comes in, people leave the city, all sorts of stuff happens that change it. We've identified opportunities to optimize and streamline our operations to ensure we are best positioned, blah, 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 blah. The latest to shut down was the TGI Fridays at 709 and Route 70 through Brick. Meanwhile, TGI Fridays at 601 Main Street shut down. These addresses mean nothing unless you live extremely local. Other big-name restaurant chains have also been shuttering outlets too. Red Lobster closed almost 100 and filed for bankruptcy, while Applebees is also now closing 35 locations. At the announcement in January, TGI Fridays said 36 were shut down right away at the time they didn't name them. Well, it's obviously more than that. You can see the location here and check your state. They've got locations that are due to shut down in June. So they've got those. You can also look at Applebees. This is just from 10 days ago. Applebee's set to close up to 35 further locations. This is after closing 46 last year. So the total is nearly 100 in the last 365 days. Applebee's is to close another 35 further locations this year after closing 46 in 2023. The restaurant chain has shut down at least 3 locations so far this year and plans to close even more. Closing restaurants was an incredibly difficult decision and a last resort for the company. The American chain grill, famous for its $10 burgers and Dollaritas, closed 46 of its more than 1,500 locations due to underperformance last year. The franchise, which competes with the likes of the Waffle House and Denny's, no, it doesn't. What? Applebee's does not compete with the Waffle House. You can't even get breakfast at Applebee's. What kind of idiot wrote this article? Anyway, it does not compete with Waffle House and Denny's. It competes with Chili's, and it competes with like Five Guys, teenager date restaurants. Anyway, the franchise has been shutting hundreds of restaurants since 2017. Hudson, 120 miles north of New York City, is one such location. You see all this happening. Obviously, however, parent company says everything's fine. Yeah, it's all fine when you close on all these restaurants. The stock itself is down 30% year to date, trading at $43 a share on Thursday. The company also recorded a decline in revenue, missing Wall Street's expectations in the first quarter. The decline was on the back of sales that bring down 4.6% at Applebees and 1.7% at IHOP. I hope they don't close IHOP, because IHOP is great. It's one of the few places that can cook eggs over medium consistently, which is what my wife likes. And there isn't an IHOP near me, but whenever we're near one and we're out for breakfast or something, I don't mind an IHOP, even though it's a chain restaurant. It seems fine to me. McDonald's, and then you go to this, McDonald's franchisees demand help with $5 meal. Simply not enough. Profit to discount 30%. McDonald's franchisees are griping over the cost of promotions such as the $5 value meal unveiled this month by the burger giant, and are claiming in a letter that it necessitates a financial contribution from McDonald's. So if you're unaware how this stuff works, generally, like, all McDonald's are not owned by the same person. Now, there are very few that are just owned by one person. There are many, like in Wisconsin, I think it's WHG that owns like a bunch of Applebees. Wisconsin Hospitality Group, I think. I think that's what that stands for. Maybe they don't own them anymore, but they used to when all my friends worked there in high school. There are many people that own a bunch of franchise locations. Like there isn't one owner for McDonald's. There's groups of people that own several McDonald's locations. So what they're saying is this $5 value meal which is like, by the way, 4 nuggets and a 4 chicken McNuggets, which are probably not even chicken, like a little burger and a small fry for $5. You're saying they're losing money on that. The National Owners Association, an independent self-funded advocacy group representing McDonald's franchisees, sent a letter to membership applauding its move to roll out more value meals in hopes of enticing more customers back to the Golden Arches in an era of sky-high inflation. But franchisees warned that the narrow profit margins will not allow them to sustain prolonged deals without financial assistance from corporate management. So they're asking for subsidies. If they need a subsidy to sell a $5 burger and small fries, they got bigger problems. Like, they have big problems. Quote, the fact remains that in order to provide the consumer with more affordable options, they must be affordable to the owner and operators, they wrote in the letter. McDonald's vast resources and financial investment are essential to sustainable, affordable strategy. The letter was first resorted by CNBC. The Post saw comment. The NOA letter noted that McDonald's franchisees were a penny profit business with 10 to 15% margins. There simply is not enough profit to discount 30% for this model to be sustainable. The NOA wrote the letter to members. If they're only making pennies, which maybe that's true at the franchise level, maybe at the franchisee level, that's true. But if that's true, then they're cooked. Like, there's no reason. I just saw Chili's roll out like $11 burger, unlimited chips and salsa and fries. That's way better. And just like a far better quality of food, okay, just extremely better for the same price as a quarter pounder extra value meal at McDonald's. McDonald's is in huge trouble. The NOA encouraged McDonald's to bring back other value items such as snack wraps that use existing chicken breasts so that they can be priced and marked down to with low-income customers at mine. Franchisees also suggested McDonald's begin offering the 2 top beverages from the company's popular spin-off chain, Cosmix, for sale at flagship locations to lure back customers. I've never even seen a Cosmix, have you? McDonald's last week confirmed to the Wall Street Journal that it would be launching only a month-long, by the way, promotion beginning in June 25th. Customers can pay $5 for a meal that includes either a McChicken, which again is $1, used to be $1, or a McDouble, which also used to be on the $1 menu, along with a side order of small fries and a 4-piece chicken nugget and a small drink. Okay, that might be okay for $5. But what the franchisees are saying is that they're not making money on that. So we know for a fact that they will not be able to sustain that offer or those prices. Fast food fans have blasted the $5 meal as skimpy. I don't know. What is it? 4 nuggets and a McChicken. If I got 4 nuggets, a McChicken, and a small fry and a drink for $5, would it fill me? Probably not, but I'm obviously a big guy. A McChicken, 4 McNuggets. If it was a medium fry, I could do it. I think a medium fry and a medium drink. If you gave me a medium fry, medium drink, a McChicken, and 4 nuggets, or a McDouble or whatever, I think that's okay. Some McDonald's, but by the way, they can't do that. They'd be losing money. Some McDonald's locations have been charging as much as $18 for a Big Mac meal and $7 for an Egg McMuffin. Coca-Cola, which has maintained a decades-long partnership with McDonald's, pitched in marketing funds to make a $5 value meal more appealing. And again, it's still not profitable. This after Applebee's closed hundreds of locations. TGI Fridays closes 50 locations. This industry is done. You see, McDonald's $5 meal causes outrage among restaurant owners as they write a damning letter to the headquarters. Okay, here it is. Yeah, a double cheeseburger. If this was a medium fry and a medium drink for $5, that's enough for me. I'm a full-grown adult too, I think that's okay. But the problem is they're coming out and saying, yo, we can't. First of all, it's for a month only, which means I would only consider it for a month. Second of all, they're not making any money doing it, so they're cooked. By the way, the deal will only last a month, so nobody's coming back. Meanwhile, McDonald's corporate made $14.5 billion last year. McDonald's is in big, big, big trouble. I think what we're going to see here is some sort of price war. You've seen Wendy's came out with their $3 breakfast meal. That cooks anything McDonald's has. It's definitely a McDisaster. The only reason I ever ate at McDonald's was because it was cheap or for my kids when they were younger. It's no longer cheap, and my kids are grown for the money they're charging. I'd rather go elsewhere for better quality food. McDonald's needs to take note. That's how I am too. Last September, I paid $15 for 2 cheeseburgers, 2 small fries, 2 small drinks. Not only was that shocking, but their high-tech ordering kiosk only managed to make the service far slower than normal. So they've already replaced everybody. They're charging through the nose. And again, it's still McDonald's. People eat McDonald's because it's cheap or it's the only thing available. Nobody really goes out of their way to eat McDonald's food. And they're in big, big trouble. Let me know what you think. How bad is it going to get in 2024 for these restaurant chains? It looks like it's going to be brutal. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.